So I've been driving this little Honda Fit back and forth to work for the past couple weeks, and it's developed an annoying problem. Mainly the exhaust system is writing checks that the 109 horsepower under the hood cannot cash. For example, exactly. So on today's episode, we're gonna fix that. So now that I got the car up in the air and took a look at the exhaust, you can, obviously see the source of my problems here. As some of you may be aware, I own a welder. I'm more than capable of just welding these two pipes together, but that's not nearly that entertaining. So I went to the aisle in Walmart, AutoZone, Advanced Auto, any auto parts store. Basically went down the aisle of things that you should not buy and pulled out this heat wrap. Now we can fix anything, boys. Failed marriage, heat wrap it. Can't train your dog, heat wrap it. Kids acting up, heat wrap it. We can fix anything with this box. So, with all that in mind, this is what we get. So we're gonna try and make a repair to this exhaust system using this heat wrap. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean some of this rust and just garbage off of this pipe just to try and get a clean surface for it to attach to. But reading the directions already, I can see that I'm probably gonna have issues. The reason I say that is they recommend 4 inches, when you have a pipe that's broken completely in half like this, they want 4 inches after and before the break that you could heat wrap that whole section. Well, because of the resonator here, that's not really gonna be an option. So it's gonna get about 1 inch in the front and about 4 inches in the back, and we'll see how good this stuff is. But if the packaging is any indication, it hardens just like steel. You guys can fill in your own "that's what she said" there. If anything, the marketing department at Heat Wrap is pretty hilarious. So even if it doesn't work, I got comedic value just off the packaging. All right, after thoroughly reading the instructions that this stuff comes with, first thing we gotta do is put on some gloves, because apparently there's some resin in this stuff that shouldn't get on your hands. So much so that they even supply the gloves. So, put this stuff on. Oh, that's great. All right. So now they say get a bucket of water. 1 bucket of water. Open said package. And we're to soak the tape in the bucket of water. This stuff actually kind of stinks. It's not real bad, but it's definitely noticeable. All right, thoroughly saturate that in the water. May have to change my gloves to reposition the camera. All right, so it says the first couple wraps you want to do loosely. And then gradually tighten it up. Oh, if this stuff works, it'll be a miracle. This is a friggin' mess. So the instructions say you want to go 2 inches, at least 2 to 4 inches on either side of the brake. And where the pipe is actually broken, they want it wrapped 6 times. So I'm gonna, now that I've got a few wraps on this, I'm gonna try and get it as tight as I can. So the next thing they want you to do is take this, whatever this stuff is, and put it over top of the wrapping while it cures. If I can keep this stuff on here. This stuff cures with heat. So basically they said put this stuff on and go drive the car around. So that's what I intend to do. All right, boys, let's get this thing cured. I got to get this thing on the ground and fire it up and let it run for a while. All right, now the question is, does it still sound like full-blown race car? That's actually tolerable. Will it hold? That remains to be seen. So it definitely sounds better than it did. I'm gonna go drive this thing around real quick, get the exhaust hot, and try and get that cured real quick. And I'll bring you guys back, in a second after this stuff's cured. But I do have one more fix that I need to do to this exhaust system. All right, so reading the back of the package, first thing they want us to do is clean the area with some sort of degreaser, get all the dirt, dust, grime, whatever off of there, and then sand it with some coarse sandpaper for best results. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. If this works, I will be truly amazed, because the whole bottom of this muffler is blown out. There's a top of it blown out here up at about 2 o'clock, and the side's starting to come apart. So there really isn't much left of this thing at this point. So if this stuff seals this up, I'll be thoroughly impressed, because there's, like I said, there's not much left here. All right, we'll see what happens here. It says just to pull it out of the package and knead it, and kind of get it in the shape that you need. They said not to get it on your hands, so that's why I got the gloves on. But there's a 2-part to this when you mix it together, and that center mixes in with the stuff on the outside. They said to just, remove the amount that you need, but let's be serious. I'm going to use probably most of this, because this thing's in pretty rough shape. All right. Yeah, well for me. we'll see what happens, but I'm kind of, I'm out of putty at this point. Got a little piece down here at the bottom on the back side that really didn't get covered all that well. So supposedly this stuff has a 1 hour cure time on it, so we'll be back in an hour and we'll see what this stuff looks like. All right, so I let it cure for about an hour and a half. The back of the package said let it cure for an hour, so let's start this thing up and see if we get any change. Nothing. No real change. Obviously there was a couple little cracks in the muffler still that I simply didn't have enough putty for, and quite frankly I'm willing to live with it the way that it is. It's not a huge deal, but the pipe broken in 2 pieces coming right off the cat, yeah, that was a little loud and annoying. So that's fixed. The muffler, not so much. If it lasts 6 or 8 months, it'll be worth it. A new cat back for this thing, you know, just factory replacement stuff is like, I don't know, like 150 bucks plus shipping, whatever that is. But so yeah, I'll let you guys know down in the comments as far as whether or not this stuff is actually holding up or not.
3 weeks later.
So before I could even get the video out there, a couple weeks went by, you know, had some stuff going on and been driving the car, and this thing developed another exhaust noise. So I came under here and started inspecting everything, and this is after about 3 weeks. Now, mind you, the package says nearly as strong as steel. I'm sure my time is limited on this patch, but that isn't actually where it's leaking. So if you guys look in the mirror, I've developed another hole. So rather than spend another, I think like 12 bucks on this heat wrap, at this point, I'm just gonna replace the exhaust, because that whole length of pipe, this whole mid pipe, so the mid pipe from the muffler up to the cat is about 50 bucks. So if I buy another tube or another roll of heat wrap, I'm halfway to buying a whole new pipe. So I'm gonna install a whole new pipe. So what can we get out of this? You know, does muffler tape work, I guess? Really, as you guys can see, kind of depends on your exhaust. Yes, it sort of works. I understand when I put this on here, that wasn't the ideal situation. I kind of set it up for failure, and I fully admit that. But with that said, even if this worked 100% perfectly, I was still gonna develop another hole back here. So my suggestion to you guys is this. If you have an exhaust leak and you're thinking about using this stuff, just take a step back and look at the cost of the entire pipe, because chances are if your exhaust system is in that bad of shape that you're willing to use it in one place, you're probably going to develop another leak somewhere else back here, like I did. So with that in mind, why waste your time? Just spend the extra, you know, 30, 40 bucks, replace the whole section of pipe, and be done. Really, if I had to do it over again, big waste of time. But you know, for somebody out there like Chris Fix that, you know, shoots a video on this stuff and, you know, just drills a couple holes in a fairly decent exhaust system and puts this tape on it and goes, yeah, it works, look at this, guys. It isn't always the case. You gotta figure out, you know, what you're working with and make sure the condition of the rest of the exhaust is worth putting money into, let's say. Because if, like I said, if you're gonna patch it one place and you're gonna drive it 300 miles and you're gonna have another hole develop somewhere else, why even waste your time fixing the pipe? Realistically, I maybe could have welded this back together with my welder, but there's so much rust on this pipe that I don't know that there's any good metal there to even weld it to. So, like I said, for 50 bucks, I can go get a pre-bent pipe with the resonator, everything, and just replace it. So that's what I'm gonna do. The JB Weld back in the back seems to have done an okay job. You know, obviously I could have used a little bit more, like up in this corner up here. There's obviously, you know, a small spot there. But over here on the side, it looks to be getting a little hot. and it's starting to actually, it looks like, sort of degrade. I'm not going to say it's burning off, but it's definitely not the same color as it was a couple 100 miles ago. All right, guys, one new exhaust later, and this is what we got. A little more reasonable. So about the Fiberfix heat wrap. So I got to reading the packaging some more because, you know, like I said, it's pretty hilarious. And the bottom of it says, warning, this product is provided without any warranty, expressed or implied, which is understandable, but then of fitness for a specific purpose. So they don't intend it for any specific purpose, and they make no warranty that it's going to do literally anything. Even though on the front of the package, they show it clearly being used on an exhaust system. So take that for what it is. I'll have links in the description if you guys are actually interested in the Fiberfix and the JB Weld. As always, guys, if you guys like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content, go down and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.